Did the Steelers pack it in too soon? Are they going to miss their winning season streak that everyone in Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin loves so much?
The Tomlin thing, it's got to be expired by now. They've been trying the same. They have no intentions of winning a Super Bowl. That's the funniest part of it all. Like, their last legitimate chance was what, like 2018? And ever since then, they've been trying the same thing over and over and over again. And we all know this. This isn't a shock to everybody. Mike Tomlin going 500 every year, 9-8 every year. Yeah, it's time to move on. The bringing in the veteran, old, washed QB experiment with a really uninspiring offense and an aging defense that gets worse seemingly by the week. It's run its course. Like, we'd like to think that some of these legendary coaches will never expire in their usefulness. But he's a guy who will expire. And unfortunately for a sorry franchise, perhaps like the Raiders or the Jets, they'll probably hire him right after. And that's a sad reality for one of those teams. But I think they'll finish at 9-8. I really do.
You don't think they packed it in too soon? You think the streak will stay alive?
No, I think the streak will stay alive. Uh-huh. It'll be an incredible run, one for the ages. But
they go 3-2 over their last 5 games and make it happen?
Yeah, no, they'll make it happen some way, somehow. I think they will. But after that, it's over. Watch for him to be one of the first guys fired in the offseason. They have to. They've had to for the past 5 off seasons now. It's been time. And they gotta just suck it up and draft a QB in the first round or tank next year. Maybe start Mason Rudolph the whole year or whatever. And then, or what's his name, Will Howard, and tank and get a high first round pick. They got to do the thing that Steelers pride, doesn't want to do, and that's suck. Okay. At some point, it's good for your team to suck because then you get all the crap out of the building, and they have so much crap in the building. Mike Tomlin, Arthur Smith, all those old, bitter defensive players.
Some of their like Cam Hayward. Like, it's time for these guys to go. You got to move on.
That guy is just, he's the Grinch, man. He's stealing Christmas and he's stealing smiles and win. All these guys are just so, they're bitter and they're old and they don't want to be there. I mean, just look at Aaron Rodgers' post-game interview. The guy just, he looks like he just hates the world. That's Steelers football right now, is hating everything. Metcalf hates the team. Pickens hated the team, and now look at him. The offensive line gets so much blame, and they're not even the biggest problem. The defense is, let's just say how it is, they're horrible, and yet they're the one pointing fingers at the offense for not being good enough. This is a run-down, nasty team, and it just needs to be scrapped from the bare bones, and they need to bring in a young, fresh offensive mind, which isn't the Steelers' way, and they need to bring in a young, fresh quarterback, and they just need to go in complete rebuild. That's what needs to happen, and thankfully their ownership cares about winning, so it won't be like a 10, 20-year rebuild like the Jets or the Raiders do all the time. It might just be a quicker turnaround, perhaps like the Patriots. But they're only hurting themselves by just pushing it off and delaying it. It's got to happen.
What's the point? They've been doing it since Rodgers retired, since Ben retired. Like, what's the point? How cool is it to go 9-8 every season and then lose in the first round? And do something different.
They were like this before Antonio Brown broke out and before Le'Veon Bell broke out. They were like this after their Super Bowl loss. For many, many years, they were going 500, and then they got these really good players, and Roethlisberger took a big step in his early 30s and mid-30s, and then they became good again, and now they're back to where they were, but they don't have the quarterback this time, and they don't have the young star players this time. They don't have any star player. Let's just say how it is. TJ Watt's overpaid. There's so many overpaid, underperforming players on this team and coaches. They go 9-8 this year. Cute, you keep your streak, but you're out. There's the door.
Think about the revolving door of divas that teams had. Be nice to have something different for once, and maybe you don't have a revolving door of divas. Like, DK Metcalf is a saint on that team compared to all the other divas. Like, he's been really quiet compared to everybody else they had before him, always complaining about something. I don't think Tomlin's had a hold in that locker room for years. Or maybe he just lets a couple guys go astray so that he can hold the rest of the locker room. I don't know. But something's got to change.
Yeah, talk about another guy who just collects a paycheck, right? Oh, we just got our butt kicked by the Bills, who have a really bad defense, and we can only put up, 9 points against them or whatever it was. Oh, by the way, where's my paycheck, right? Like, that's too many coaches like that. I keep saying too many coaches are just complacent where they're at. And, yeah, Tomlin's been robbing them for years. They've been robbing themselves for years. Yeah, they keep the streak going. Maybe Tomlin retires on his streak of 9-8.
Goes off in the sunset.
In the sunset.
I don't think they're going to keep the streak going. I actually think this is the year it's going to end. I think it'll be over this year, but I guess we'll see.
We'll see, yeah. Just when you think they're going to be a really bad team, they destroy like a playoff team. So
kind of like when they beat the Colts, you're like, okay, it's over. It's over for this team. Then they beat the Colts, you're like, oh, okay. Are they back, or are they just randomly good for one game?
Yeah, exactly.